Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex if you're new here, and I am the owner of PlantLifeLex.com, which is my online houseplant store. I actually have a lot of plant chores that I have to do for my own personal collection. So I have a few plants that need to be repot, plants that need to be potted up, and the biggest thing that I need to do is add moss pulls to a lot of my plants that don't have them, or change out the ones that they already have. These are the moss pulls that I'm going to be transitioning all my plants onto. If you are interested, they are on the website. I have clear and I do have white as well. For the most part, I am going to just be using these clear ones, but I do have a few of the white ones that I have already built, so I'm probably just going to use those ones as well, just to not waste them. So you can't see it, but around me I have all of the plants that I pulled out of my collection that needs to be addressed. I'm just going to be working through all these plants, and some parts may be sped up. I might be talking, I might even be answering some of you guys' questions. Also, a side note that's not plant related, but I just am really excited and I want to share it. So you guys know I obviously wear glasses. I wear glasses like 24/7. I just recently ordered 2 new pairs and I just want to show you guys because I'm so excited about them. This round pair like this, and I ordered these glasses from Firmoo.com. It was really easy to do and it didn't cost a lot. I think I paid literally less than $100 for like 2 pairs of frames, and then I got these ones here. I'm gonna try them on. So these glasses that I wear here, I kind of flip-flop between these glasses and another pair, and I got those from Lens Crafters, and honestly, like, I think I'm just done with getting glasses like at the, you know, like Lens Crafters or at the doctor's office, because like they're just so expensive. For me to go on Firmoo, I literally got 2 pairs for less than $100, and oh my god, this is so cute. The reason why I'm so excited for these glasses is because I had no idea that something like this existed, but on the lenses, I got the upgrade or whatever so that the lenses don't reflect. So if you can see straight through. I know if I would have asked for that at Lens Crafters, they would have charged me like an arm and a leg, you know what I mean? So I've never even thought to like ever upgrade my lenses because it costs so much freaking money, and I'm just like over spending hundreds of dollars for glasses that like I don't even really like. Me looking into the camera right now and seeing no reflection literally makes me want to cry, because like this is something that I've dealt with for so long, you guys. If you're a glasses wearer, you probably felt the same. So like when I was like growing up, I hated wearing my glasses because like I just like didn't feel confident in them, and like I hated putting my makeup on and then you couldn't see it, or like going out and I couldn't see. And I do have contacts and I wear them here and there. Honestly, I don't wear them as much anymore. Nowadays I only wear them when like I go on vacation or something like that, or if I'm like swimming. Probably in like the last 8 to 10 years I've kind of accepted that unfortunately I'm gonna be a glasses wearer for the rest of my life, and I just should try to find really nice frames that I like. And now I'm just like super happy. I like love the way that these look, and I just love how affordable they are. Like I'm so excited. You can see my stupid forehead. But like I can't get over that like you can't see a reflection. Like it's freaking crazy. That is just such a big deal as a glasses wearer. Like I'm gonna put the other ones on. Oh, I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, I love it so much, you guys. Like I can't. Oh, like I'm so happy. And this video is not sponsored. I'm just so excited that I had to share this with you guys. I literally cannot get over that there's no reflection in these glasses on the camera. Like it's crazy. Let's jump into all this plant care because I got tons of shit to do. Alright guys, so I tilted the camera down so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I hope you guys are okay with when I like tilt the camera down. I know me personally, when I'm watching somebody do plant stuff, I want to see them like doing it. I don't have a mic, so I can't put the camera like too far back or it won't pick up the sound. Basically what we're doing today is just going through all the plants. I'm not going in like any particular order. Some plants need soil, some plant needs pond, leca, some plants need moss pulls. Like I'm just gonna be just doing whatever they need in no particular order. I feel like I have like 20 or more plants like around me, which is kind of funny. First plant that I want to work on is this Amy Durium medium blue. This plant is actually a propagation of the mother plant that I have in my Mills bow, the really tall one. I ended up cutting it down because it was just too it was just getting too tall, and it just was hard to like manage because of how big it was getting, and I just don't have the space for it, which is unfortunate because I do want to grow this plant really big. I had even considered putting it on like a plank and sticking it in here like in the corner or something, but The greenhouse itself doesn't really get that much humidity because I'm not that great with turning the humidifier on. I always forget. The reason why I want to change out all of these moss pools, I have all these new moss pools that are just easier to deal with. I like that they're already pre-assembled, so when it's time to extend them, all I have to do is assemble it and literally stick it on top. Versus these DIY ones, they're great and they're, you know, they're affordable to like make yourself, but I hate making them. And to be honest with, like, I hate making moss pools. Like, it's just such a dreaded thing for me. I don't understand why, but like, I hate it. Obviously this plant is like in moss. This is probably like one of the only ones that I have now that was growing in moss, like on the moss pole. I don't use moss anymore. And the reason I don't is I think it's just too messy. Like, clearly what I'm doing right now, it's annoying. It's so annoying to get the roots out of the moss. And there was a time where all the plants that I had on moss poles, I had them inside of my rootstock. And one day I was like just like looking in there and I saw all these like mites running around like the moss pole. And I was just like, what is that? And come to find out, they were like moss mites or something that were like living in the moss. I don't freaking know. I don't think that they're bad because they were moving really quickly. And from like the research I was doing online, they didn't seem like they were like bad. It was just like frustrating because like I like, you know, I hate bugs. Like, I hate pests. Like, I hate good pests. I hate bad pests. Like, I just don't like it. And I was just like, ew, like that is so disgusting. So after that, I had like stopped using moss and I started just putting my like soil mix in the moss in the poles as well. I feel like doing a soil pole is just like way easier than doing this with the moss. Like, I'm struggling to get this plant out of here. I just can't really just deal with the moss anymore. And the Amigurium was one of the like remaining ones that I have, and I have the other half of it over here as well that I'm gonna take it off, and I'm just gonna do soil. I'm gonna just try to clean the roots off as best as I can. I don't even like propagating in moss. Like, I just feel it's just too much to like sit here and like try to detangle like the roots and stuff. And like, I feel like I lose so many roots trying to do this. I'm so over moss that I don't even buy it anymore. I also like stopped selling cuttings on my website because like I don't even want to ship them in moss because like I don't know, I just hate it and I just don't want it. I just like don't want it ever like around. So it's not too much of a big deal to me that the roots have some moss on it. I think it's not like the end of the world. So these are the moss poles I'm going to use. Now I'm just going to fill it with the soil mix. So the reason I enjoy using the soil versus actual moss for like these moss poles is like simply because your plant will now just start growing into your potting mix, like into the pole, versus like it growing in a whole new substrate and you having to like transition it from moss to your soil mix or whatever you're, you know, trying to do. And I've been doing this for a while now and I really love the results. That's what it looks like. I'm only gonna go up halfway for now because it's, you know, it hasn't grown all the way up there yet. And then I just use this garden tape to secure it. And it's really easy. And if you need them to be like longer, you just get another one and you just stick it like on the top and then you can like extend it, and it's super easy to do. Now if you do like to use moss, doing these poles is kind of easy with moss because they come flat. So you would just literally just lay your moss down and then like assemble it. But since I'm doing soil, I have to kind of assemble it first, you know? Yeah, this is the first one. Oh my god, these poles are so nice, y'all. All right, the next guy we have here is this Monstera obliqua. So you can see this leaf is already yellowing, which is fine because it just put out this little leaf here. I struggled with this plant. When I tell y'all, I was getting so frustrated with this plant because it just kept getting root rot. And I was just like, I don't understand. Like, every time I would take it out, it looked fine, and then a few days later it would be like rotted again. It's doing so much better. What I do now for it is I literally just let it dry out, like entirely. Like, I just let it get bone dry. And that's kind of something that I've been doing with a lot of my plants as of lately. but I think I was just watering this guy too much. I know with this plant, you kind of have to get it onto a moss pole sooner than later because it will just grow out runners, and I'm trying to avoid that. I think that's just the nature of the obliqua. Like, I don't want mine to put out runners, so I left it alone for a little while when I first got it because I wanted it to just, I wanted to see what it did, and I'm glad that I did leave it alone because it was going through that whole root rot thing anyway. Now it's doing better, so now I'm like, all right, let me get it on like a moss pole. For the longest time, I never wanted an obliqua, and I talked about it in like one of my videos where I was like, oh, I don't want one, and then I ended up getting one literally like 2 weeks later after I had said that, which is so funny. I think I like it. I still want the Esqueleto though. That's like something I really want. I had actually seen an Esqueleto at the Ecuagenera pop-up event that I went to. I'll link the video up on here on the card, but it was an import, and bro, let me tell you guys, those imports, they was looking tore up. I was like, what the hell? I don't know what goes on at Ecuagenera, but sometimes their plants look like they have gone through hell. The Esqueleto I saw, it was in a bag because, you know, their imports come in a bag. And every single leaf was yellow, and they had the nerve to be selling it for like $200. It was like massive too. It was like this big. Every single leaf was literally yellow. I'm like, damn, like they be kind of like trying to rob you sometimes. If Ecuagenera did have an Esqueleto that was like potted up and established, I probably would have bought it. I ended up just getting Anthuriums that trip. So yeah, make sure you guys check out that video. We did like a little sit down, like I answered questions and took you guys on the tour and stuff like that. Here is the obliqua, looking pretty good. His little aerial nodes are like way down here, so I'm gonna just give it time to like extend up, and then hopefully it'll start growing and attach itself to the poles. So since we're on the moss pole roll, I think I'm just gonna do all the moss poles first and get them out of the way. This is my variegated burl marks. It has like a yellowing leaf, so I'm just gonna cut it. I did get this plant as an import, and it just really did a great job. I'm so glad that I didn't lose it because I've been wanting one of these, and I'm just glad that I got one with like really good like variegation genetics, because the variegation on this plant specifically is really, really nice. So I'm just, you can't really tell, but I'm trying to get it out of the moss pole that it's in without like damaging it. So I have to like cut the like the wiring and stuff to make it a little easier for me to like get it out. And this one was already growing really nicely in this soil mix. So its roots are, honestly, I think the roots are growing down into the pot. Alright, so I got it off of the pole, and now I'm just going to fill it up. One issue that I'm having like doing YouTube is my camera always overheats, like it just did it. Like it overheats a lot, and I don't know if that's like normal. Like, how do you like deal with that? I guess like obviously get a better camera, but like it's not even like warm in here for it to like be overheating like that. Like I can record for 5 minutes and then it'll just like overheat, and then I have to turn it off and wait. It's just annoying. It's very frustrating when you're trying to like get this stuff done and like record yourself, and then like you look up and then all of a sudden your camera's off. It's super annoying. I need some like camera recommendations, I guess. I know a lot of you guys do YouTube on here too. Honestly, this plant needs a repot, but that's not happening right now, I don't think, for me. This plant is actually gonna have to get cut again because it's just growing like wildly. I'm gonna cut this leaf because it's on its way out as well. When you guys have like yellowing leaves, do you guys cut them right away, or do you literally let it like sit? I'm someone who, if I just see it start to yellow, I'll probably just cut it off because like I hate looking at it. All right, so this guy is on his pole now, and now we can move on to have this Syngonium albo. I think it's nutrient deficient because look at that, the way that the green came out. There's no pest on it though. So one thing that I've been like forgetting to do is like fertilize all the plants, and I know I shouldn't be forgetting that, but I have been. And I don't think about fertilizing until I've already literally watered all of the plants, and I'm like, damn, I was supposed to add fertilizer to the water. And I just like keep forgetting, and I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, also, to be honest, I haven't even been watering my plants. Like, as you can see, they're like dry as hell. I'm always focused on like the shop plants, like that I forget that I have a collection as well. And sometimes it's hard to like remember like that you have your own collection too. I think sometimes like my love for like plants, it comes and goes lately. Like lately, like I haven't even wanted to buy a plant for myself or anything because I'm just like, nah. And I think it's just because like I have such easy access to plants now, like with wholesale and stuff, that it doesn't really bring me the thrill unless it's something very, very expensive or rare. It sucks feeling like that, but I do love plants still, and I do love common plants equally as I love rare plants and everything like that. I'm definitely not like a rare plant only like type of person or anything like that. I'm just saying that like I'm not as excited nowadays over like the plants like how I used to be, just because it's so easy for me to get a plant, I think, for myself since having the shop. So yeah, but there are like a lot of plants that a lot of the wholesale greenhouses don't carry because obviously they're rare and stuff like that. And like that's why like when I went to Ecuagenera, like I actually took time to shop for myself, and I told myself, you know, let me get myself a few new things that I like, and I ended up getting like 3 anthurium plants, and it just made me really happy again to like get something that I knew I wanted. So this guy's on a pole now. We got Syngonium Panda. When I first saw the Syngonium Panda, I was like, damn, like this plant is so nice. And I still think it is nice. I had really high expectations for the Syngonium Panda that I had on the shop. I had figured that people would really like this plant. Like it has like really nice green on green variegation. But I think what I'm learning is that people just don't care about Syngoniums the way I do. And that's fine. You know what y'all do care about? You guys are obsessed with that freaking red spot tricolor. Oh my god. I get so many messages asking me when I'm going to have a red spot tricolor Syngonium on my shop. And I just think it's hilarious because I'm like, what? I put on there Syngonium pandas who are like rare too, and y'all didn't even budge. But like, I think it's because it's a pink plant, and you know, anything that's pink, everybody wants it. So yeah, so the answer to your question about the red spot tricolor, am I gonna ever have that plant? The answer is I really don't know. It's never at the wholesale greenhouse. The next time I go, I'm gonna talk to them and see if they can get it for me maybe. But it's not that easy to get your hands on it at a wholesale rate. Like for me to be able to get that plant probably right now and get like a decent quantity of it, like 4 to 5 of them, I would have to import it. And then I would have to have the plant for at least like 5 to 6 months before I thought about even selling it. So yeah, there's that. It's just not an easy plant right now to get like my hands on, and I'm trying to figure it out so that I can get them for you guys. But yeah, you guys be asking me about that freaking plant all the time. I'm like, I don't have it right now. I'm really trying to like figure out how I can get a good quantity of that plant. I'm trying, but I don't know where to get it from. Like, it's just funny. But I definitely think people want it because it's pink, and everybody wants a pink plant all the time. But if I do get them, it's not going to be anytime soon, probably, unfortunately. Yeah, so since the panda didn't really do well, I kind of stopped trying to get any other type of like rare Syngonium. Like not even like rare, I guess like just uncommon, whatever you want to call it, but like I feel that only for me in my shop the Syngonium albos are the only thing that do well. I recently had a Wenlani and a Rayi on the shop, and they did sell right away. They're not rare. I would definitely say that they're common, but they did sell right away, so I was kind of shocked. I didn't think anyone was going to even really go for them, or they were going to sit for a while, but they didn't. Happy about that. But that panda, the panda is still in the shop, you guys. All right, next one is Florida Ghost. First off, look at this leaf that recently unfurled. You see the sport variegation on this? It's really nice. I hope it sticks because, you know, these like fade to the dark green. I recently cut this plant to propagate it, which I did a video of me putting it in pond. Guess what? It did not take it well at all, and it's back in water. It was doing so good at first in the pond, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't. So I took it out, and now I put it back in water, the little cutting that I took of this, and it seems like it's perking up a little bit now. So I think I will just pot it up when it's ready, because the goal was with this plant was that I was going to take that top cutting and make it a semi-hydro, and then I was going to sell this bottom. But that plant didn't root well for me at all, so I ended up letting this plant grow out some more, and now it's like big again, so it has to get cut again. So yeah, that's where we're at with this guy. I know a lot of people were asking me about Florida Ghost, and like clearly I have one and I've been trying to prop it, but it's just not working out for me for some reason. I don't know. Once the cutting roots in water, I'm just gonna pot it in soil mix and be done with it like there, you know. All right, so this guy is also done. We are moving pretty quickly. We got a Syngonium Mojito. It doesn't have any aerial nodes yet, but why not get it on something, you know, the sooner the better. That's something that I need to get better at, is that I need to get plants on moss poles like ASAP. And stop like waiting so long, like how I am now. Like all these plants need freaking poles, and they're probably like suffering from it. But yeah, I need to get better at, like, when I repot a plant or something, get it on a moss pole. Since I have gloves on doing this, it feels so weird. Like you have to just fold the moss pole and like snap it into the, like the back. I don't know if you can tell, I see these little flaps, you just snap it into the back. But because I have gloves on, the glove keeps getting stuck in there, making it a little difficult. This guy, oh my god, I'm the worst, bro. Look at these roots. Yeah, it's not happening in this video. It's just not happening. I got too much stuff to do. It'll happen, I promise. I'll repot them, I promise. Funny story about this Mojito. I bought this plant online off of like Etsy or whatever. It was an Etsy shop, but it's like also they're a greenhouse, so they have like tons of plants. So the one pictured is not going to be the exact one. It's going to be very similar to the picture, right? So I totally understand that. I was never expecting it to look exactly like the picture, but I was expecting it to look similar. The Mojito in the picture literally was like the molted, like beautiful variegation. It was showing that the plant had a lot of variegation, like no solid green leaves. Like it was very defined looking that it had variegation. And I had been looking for a Mojito like that for so long. So I was like, oh my gosh, let me get this. It came in the mail, it was all green, and it had like one little leaf that had like slight variegation. Like even you can see like it's very like green on green, but it's faint. It was not like how the picture was. I like reached out to the seller and I was like, I'm kind of confused, like it doesn't look anything like the ones that you guys were advertising. And I don't think like that's like wrong to do. I'm just saying like it literally does not look like what they were advertising, you know? And I was just like, what the hell? Like I was expecting something similar to the photo like you guys said, and it's not similar at all. And I wasn't like rude or anything. I was just like, you know, I'm just kind of confused as to why, like that, why is that the case? And you know what they did? They were just like, they didn't even answer Like they didn't even, I don't even know how to explain it, but it just seemed like they just didn't want to deal with it at all. I wasn't like asking for my money back. I wasn't asking for anything. I was just like, hey, like, you know, it's kind of misleading. I wasn't rude, nothing. All of a sudden, like, I don't even know if I got a response. I just saw that I got a refund. And I was just like, what the freak? Like, I didn't ask you to refund me. I'm just saying, like, dude, like, that's kind of misleading. So I ended up getting the whole plant for free, and I was just like, you guys sent me like a solid green, almost like reverting, and I was just like, what? Like, that's not what I had paid for, you know? Because I paid a lot of money. Whatever, I guess. But they didn't even like try to like talk to me or anything. If they would have talked to me, I would have told them like, no, like, you don't have to refund me, like, I'll keep it. Or even honestly, I was at the point where I was like, I was willing to send it back to them. Like I don't care. Like, that's not what it just wasn't what I had in mind for the Mojito. You know what I'm saying? It just was not what I had in mind for that plant. So, whatever, I guess. This is my really tall pink princess. You can't even see how, oh my gosh. This is how, you can't really tell, but yeah, this is her. Alright, so since this one's so tall, I have to do like 2. It's really simple to do. You just literally just shove it in. And like that. It's just like really easy. See? So easy, you guys. Oh, the best. The very best for us moss pole users. I'm telling you, it's the best thing ever. And then you can like push it down as far as you need it. So I'll probably push it down a little bit more because that shit was probably gonna not fit in the cabinet. But yeah, so, oh, you can't see because of the way that the camera is. But sorry. I'm really excited for this weekend because I have a 3-day weekend off of work. Today is actually Thursday. I just finished work and I made a point to finish early on time, not to stay late. Like, I stay late every single day, you know? I just need to leave on time and the sun is still out. It just feels really good to finish work and the sun is still out and you know, and it's not like super dark in the house. So I was just like, let me film my video. I feel really good today. I also start my new role on the 21st. So I'm excited for that. I'm a little nervous because, like, you know, just going into a whole new role and like a whole new team, that sucks, but it's a necessary thing I need to do. So, you know, I'm still with the same company. I'm just moving into a different role in a different department now. So this is so tall. You guys can't even see, I'm sorry, but it's so tall. Alright, yeah, so I'm just filling this one. I'm making a freaking mess. Yo, doing this, I love soil poles, but yo, they make a hell of a mess, you guys. They make such a freaking mess. I mean, moss does too. I really like love these moss poles, you guys. It's just so easy to extend it. What the heck? Like, you just literally just stick it on and it's like ready to go. Like, you can sort of see. It's the way I have the camera, like, you can't really see. Alright, moving on to the next plant is my Ring of Fire. Talking about Ring of Fire, in my last video at the Ecuagenera pop-up, they had little seedling Ring of Fires. Like, I'm telling you, they were so little, like seeds, like little seedlings. And they had them for $80, like, a piece. I was like, oh my god. A little seedling, it was like in a 3-inch pot. It barely had any leaves on it. I don't even know. I be feeling like Ecuagenera sometimes, they just, I don't know. The prices just never seem to make any sense to me with a lot of the plants. I don't know if they're just like outdated sometimes. There was a point around here, they were having like a pop-up event literally like every few weeks in different like parts of Jersey, like South Jersey, where it was like really accessible for me to go like every single time. And I think it was so interesting because one month I would go An Anthurium queen would be like $200 for like a little one. And then the next month I would go, they would have an even bigger queen for like $125. And I would just be like, what? Like, I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but like their prices are never like the same every time. And I kind of feel like that's a little weird. If I would have bought that queen at $200 and then came back and seen a bigger one like literally a few weeks later for like $125, I would have been pissed. But they are like, I feel like they're always doing that, and I don't know. Like I get like plant prices change like within a few weeks of the event. The prices have changed like drastically sometimes. Like I don't really understand. I feel like Equigenera is a company that really doesn't give a fuck, and I don't care. I stand by what I say. I feel like they don't really give a fuck because we're gonna buy it anyway, and I guess that's just the truth, right? So the camera overheated again, so I took a small break and we're back. I built all the moss poles off camera so that I could save time. We're working on this Philodendron White Wizard. Now, I think that I really love the White Wizard the most out of like the White Knight and even the White Princess. I like the White Princess, but I only like the White Princess that has the pink in it. Obviously I would like that one, the hard to find one. But yeah, I feel that the White Wizard has way better variegation compared to like the White Knight. Like I feel like the White Knight doesn't have like that much like stable variegation compared to the Wizard. Sometimes I would even see that the White Knight would cost more than the Wizard. I just don't agree with that. I feel like the Wizard is just so much better. If you're ever like debating between the Knight and the Wizard, I say just go for the Wizard. I think the variegation is way nicer compared to the Knight. I'm trying to race against the clock now because the sun is already starting to like go down. It gets dark so fast. And what I'm gonna have to do after is just clean up all the plants like and water them, because obviously they got dirt and stuff all over them. Alright, so this is the White Wizard. I feel like such a good plant parent right now, putting all of my plants on moss poles. This is a Philodendron Golden Crocodile. This one is one of my favorite. This plant, I actually grew it from a little seedling, and it's come a long way. It's definitely like put out these big leaves. Like it started putting them out really quickly as well. It's a beautiful plant and it's super like easy care, and I love the leaf shape. I don't think it's that popular amongst people. I don't think that they really care, but I like the color of it. I feel like the color like really stands out in this plant, and I think it's definitely nice to have in your plant collection because it just stands out so much, you know. So another thing I'm gonna have to figure out is how I'm going to put all these plants that I just put like moss poles on, like where I'm gonna put them in the cabinet. Some of the moss poles I had them on, they were like cut down so that they could fit in like small places, but now these ones are really tall, so I have to figure that out next. So what's most likely gonna happen is when I'm done this video, I'm probably just gonna throw all the plants in the cabinets and then later on go back and like restyle them and stuff, because I've been wanting to restyle them for a little while because a lot of plants have like grown and outgrown their little spots, so kind of everything in there already has been just a little bit like all over the place. So it's like the perfect time to, you know, restyle them and stuff like that. So I think that'll be my next video, just like restyling my cabinets. And I'm also going to be reworking my double detox, and I have some exciting stuff coming up for that one. So I think for the next video, it's just going to be my Millsbow and Rudsta, and then I'm going to do a whole dedicated video to the detox because I have something in particular to show off with that cabinet. and I kind of want to make the whole video about just that cabinet itself. This is this guy, and like I said, I'm gonna definitely spray all the plants down and dust them off because they're full of like dirt. You guys know I love my Syngonium albos. I seen this one growing at a greenhouse, and it has that like kind of mature-ish leaf shape. So I was like, oh my god, I have to get it. And then guess what? I got it, and it started producing regular leaves, and now I'm sad. But I'm thinking maybe I should cut it. But at the same time, I don't want to cut it because maybe if I let it keep growing, it will do what it needs to do, you know? So maybe I should just leave it alone. And I think that's just like what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna leave this one alone. This guy is kind of tall, so he's gonna need 2. So let me just secure it down. Yeah, so to extend it, you just literally shove the second one in, and it fits right in. It's like really easy to do. I'm so glad that I decided to make like a whole new batch of soil, because I would have been irritated if I had to keep making soil. But I made like a lot because I had a feeling I was going to be doing moss bowls soon. So I made a whole bunch, and I'm glad that I did, because you do use a lot of soil when you're like doing this. I am so hungry. I haven't ate anything today, and by the time like I'm done all of this, I'm gonna edit this video like right away. I like to film and try to edit like kind of ASAP, so that I don't spend like my whole week like editing a video, you know, so that I can just enjoy my 3-day weekend without having to sit on the computer and edit all day and night. Since this plant has been growing quickly, so I want to make sure that there's enough so that I don't have to top it off again so soon. I don't think I'm going to extend the poles any more than 2. Once they hit the top of the second one, that's when I'm going to just, you know, cut them and be done with it, because after that it just gets really tall and I just don't feel like dealing with it. So here is the Syngonium albo, all done. The next one for a pole is this stupid plant that I hate. I've talked about this story about this plant. This is the Philodendron 69686. I've talked about the story with this plant and the reason why I hate it. It was just a really bad experience with the seller, and it just caused me to really dislike the plant a lot. I honestly want to try to cut it and propagate it, but it's taking so long for it to make the mature leaf. So I've been trying to grow this plant for a really long time, because if you don't know, I did talk about it, but if you don't know, long story short, I received the plant from an auction, like a plant auction from a well-known shop, and the plant literally arrived in a box that had no like packing materials or nothing. Like, it was just the plant, and the box had been like stepped on from UPS, and the plant like literally just was destroyed before I even like opened it. And I contacted them and they didn't do anything about it. Yeah, and since it was like destroyed, every single leaf was like yellow. So every single leaf fell off, and I had no plant. I literally had this stick. I had literally a stick, and I was pissed off because I paid, you know, a good amount of money for it at the time, and I didn't even have a leaf on it. So I had to like reroot it and like rehab it, and it took a really long time, and finally it's produced leaves. But since it lost every leaf, it doesn't produce the mature leaves anymore. It just produces like the juvenile ones, which is like annoying because I paid for a nice mature 69686 and I don't have that. I'm gonna put this guy on a pole because now he's finally producing leaves. Like, it only literally for the longest time it just had this one leaf at the bottom. There was literally nothing on this plant. It was just a stick. If I get it onto the pole now, it'll like start producing those leaves that like I'm looking for. I don't have high expectation for this plant. I also seen what did I see? I seen on like Kaylee Ellen's video, she talks about this plant. Like it's a terrible like shipper. It doesn't do well in shipping. It's just, and she said I think she said something like she would never have the 69686 ever in her shop. Like she will never sell that plant. Now that like I think about it too, like yeah, I don't think I would ever even want to risk trying to sell this plant, because I just don't think that it's gonna like do well for somebody. Like I just think it stresses really easy. Yeah, I don't think I would ever sell it like shipping. I would only sell it locally. Like if I get really tired of this plant, I'm gonna sell it locally and be done with it. I should have just got the Joe Epii instead. Honestly, I probably would have been happier with it. This is the mother plant of the Amy Geranium that we did in the beginning of the video. This plant was really tall and I chopped it. Yeah, like I needed to make space in this for this plant. So it's in moss still. Oh my god, I don't even know if you can see, but look at all the roots. It's gonna be a nightmare for me. And that's kind of why it took so long to like do something about it, is because it has so many roots in the moss that like it's like overtaking the actual moss pole like entirely. You probably can't see, but I'm trying to just cut the grid out so that I can easily just get in here. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like it has so many roots that I feel like it should be cut again, because I don't even know if I can fit it into the moss pole like moving forward, but we'll see once we get it out. This is like one of my favorite plants. I've wanted an Amy Geranium for so long. A lot of people don't know what this plant is. It's pretty expensive, and I have one on the shop still nobody wants it, and I think it's because no one knows what it is, and it is at a high price point because it's actually that expensive. If it's not a plant that people like know what it is, and even though it like costs you a lot of money or whatever, sometimes it's just not beneficial to add it to the shop, because I don't think anyone's gonna go for it because they don't know what it is and they can't justify paying that much money for something that they don't know what it is. That's why like I try not to have super rare stuff, even though I do have access to some pretty rare plants for the shop. I don't go for them because I personally don't think that people are gonna buy them. All right, so that actually escalated really quickly. I had to actually take the plant out of the pot because all the roots from the bottom were going up into the moss pole, and then I ended up losing a lot of the roots in the moss. So I'm gonna just repot it and go from there. This is the Adansonii mint. It's growing really nicely. And sorry if the lighting is changing, the sun is setting, so I'm really trying to finish to get this done. I've seen people do leca poles, so we're gonna just try it. I'm gonna secure it first, I think. And the thing about leca poles is that they definitely work. They are just really heavy, but I don't want to take this plant at a semi-hydro just for a moss pole, you know. Some of the smaller ones definitely fall out, but the bigger ones, for the most part, look like they're staying. Hopefully. Okay, not too bad. And I think to stabilize the top, I'm just going to top it with leca, even though the plant is in pond, just to secure it. But hopefully you can see it. Oh my god, it's getting so dark. This is what it looks like. It looks pretty good, actually. I feel like it's gonna be okay. So moving on to this propagation of an Epipremnum pinnatum albo. If you guys remember, this plant had root rot and I had to chop it up. This is where we're at. It's grown a lot. So I want to get it into a mixture of leca and pon. A layer of leca at the bottom. Actually gonna do a really big layer of leca. I don't want to waste so much pon on such a big vessel, so I'm gonna probably like do a mixture of pon and leca. The thing about the pon is like that it's great, but it's so small. You sometimes have to kind of stretch it by like adding other amendments to it just so that you can get a little bit more use out of it. But overall, I really love the pon. So I definitely want to get this plant into it. I feel like it'll do really well. And I made sure that I could see the roots just in case, because I don't want this plant to rot again. You can see them in there. The thing about the epipremnum is that I feel like it's a sensitive plant. Like, I feel like the roots are very fragile and very sensitive. Like, I think that it does get root rot kind of easily compared to a lot of other plants. And if you're curious on how to make your own pond, I did a video and I'll put it up in the cards so that you can check that out. Trying to not make a mess, but it's hard with the LECA flying everywhere, as you can see. Well, that's probably as good as we gonna get. And I'm just gonna add some LECA on the top just to balance it out. I just have to be careful moving it around because the LECA like will fall out of the top here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So yeah, we're gonna see how it does. Hopefully we don't lose it again. Remember this Pericio Verde, my big boy? I actually repotted this plant in a previous video. I up-potted it because it outgrew its current pot, and it literally rotted that same week. So it's been growing in water. Here's its root system, and since it's been growing in water, I also want to do the same method. I'm gonna use this vase. I'm gonna do a layer of LECA at the bottom, just so I can stretch the pond as best as I can. And I'm gonna stick the moss pole in there beforehand. Yeah, I think that's probably better to do it like that. Alright, so I'm just gonna fill it, and I'm gonna use a mixture of LECA and pond for this guy, just so I can get more pond out of it, I guess. I feel like that's pretty good. So that's what it looks like. I hope you guys can see. I'm sorry about the lighting. And I'm just gonna fill it with the LECA now as best as I can. And surprisingly, this plant has grown these large leaves without even ever being on a pole. But I know that this plant can get really large if you let it, so that's the goal for this guy. I mean, it looks good to me. I'm gonna top it with LECA. This is the Pericio Verde. Yeah, and you can see the roots in here. Yeah, it looks great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me literally putting every plant that I own basically on a freaking moss pole. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on the video. It helps my channel out a lot. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!